Hey there, Questers. Welcome to the Lore Library, your one-stop shop for all things Disney Lorcana, competitive, and Disney parks. I am your host, Sarah. Today we're joined by Caroline and Aaron. Aaron, also known as LorcanaBro. He's going over some competitive deck ideas and his recent trip to Tokyo DisneySea, which is exciting because I got to share some of my knowledge about the Disney Society of Adventure and Explorers. So if you're unfamiliar with that, definitely stick around. It is a recurring theme here, and I'm excited to dive deep this season of the podcast into the Society of Adventurers and Explorers, why it has such a special place in my heart. So I welcome you to grab your favorite snack, your favorite deck, and play along with a friend. Definitely some hot takes on Steel Song, so stay tuned.
Joining us for our Around the Disney World segment today is Aaron Rubin, aka LorcanaBro. Round of applause.
Hey guys, how's it going? Thanks so much for having me on.
Yeah, we're glad you're here.
Thank you for coming. Yeah.
So
yes. You just got back from a recent trip on Disney trips. That's why we have you on for some Disney news. So thank you for that. So tell everyone where you just got back from.
I got back from Japan. I was there for 15 days with some of my other friends. I was there for 15 days. We did Tokyo, Osaka, and a small mountain village. But, we got to do DisneySea while we were in Tokyo, which it was, for those of you who don't know, DisneySea is a unique theme park to Japan. So kind of like how, California has California Adventure. So it was super cool.
I really want to go to DisneySea. Like, in terms of all of the international parks, because I haven't been to any of them, I've only been to the domestic parks. That's the one I want to go to the most. It looks incredible.
So between the two, Tokyo Disneyland and Tokyo DisneySea, what made you guys decide that was the park to go to?
Yeah, so, I grew up in Southern California, so Anaheim was, 30-minute drive for me. So we went to Disneyland and California Adventure all the time. It was a huge part of my childhood. So like I have pretty much the parks mapped out in my head exactly like where to go, what to do at that park. So, I figured from my perspective, I looked up the rides and it was pretty comparable to like the Disneylands that we have here. There's a few differences in rides which seemed really cool. Like I think their Indiana Jones ride is not like the Jeep Adventure ride that it is. It's an actual coaster. So there's a few differences, but I just felt like this one's so unique, to Japan. That I had to kind of just do that one. And I wish we could have gone to both, but having had to choose, I definitely don't regret it. It was really awesome.
Yeah, picking between the two, I think I would definitely pick Disney Tokyo Sea. Calling it all different conglomerations of what it's actually called, like on brand. I don't know. Like I know the branding so precisely, and I'm just like, I don't know, just word salad.
Just mixing up words. It's fine.
Yeah, it's just like I'm so excited to talk about it. I'm like,
but there's been some really cool additions at DisneySea recently. Fantasy Springs, I think it's called. Did you get to go to that?
That is the huge selling point to go to DisneySea right now. I think Fantasy Springs opened about a year or less than a year ago. It is a restricted area. Like you can only go to it if you either pay for like I forget what they're called now, the fast pass. I don't think fast pass is
the lightning lane
multi-pass.
Wow. But so you can either get the fast pass or you can request through the app once you're in the park to go to that area. And so we were not able to get fast passes. They were sold out already. So we got into the park right as it opened up the app, requested access, and it only allows you to request one ride in that area. So there's 3 rides. There's the Peter Pan ride, which we did not get to go on. There's the Rapunzel ride, which is just going through, like, it's a water ride where you're just going through the story up until the lanterns. And then there's the Frozen ride, and surrounding each of those rides is just like the area. So near Peter Pan, you can go on the Jolly Roger. You can see Skull Rock. Rapunzel, you can see the tower. You can go to Arendelle, which is also a food court, so you can eat inside there. Yeah, it's really fun. So our ride that we got access to was the Rapunzel ride, which was awesome. They do a really great job with the animatronics there, and just this scene, where they're singing it's the song called "I See the Light."
Yeah.
They're singing "I See the Light," and all the lanterns are floating. It looks fantastic. It's so good. But we
I want to go so bad.
So
I'm gonna cry like right now to see it, like visualizing it. I'm like, oh my god, that's amazing. Shut up.
Well,
okay. Anyway.
Yeah, we had a stroke of luck. So we had our 1 hour time slot or whatever. Get out of Fantasy Springs, they said. So we got out of Fantasy Springs after we went on the Rapunzel ride. And I literally said to my friends, "We're never coming back to Fantasy Springs again. So enjoy it. I hope you enjoyed it while we were in here." And it starts raining really hard at the park around 6:00 at night. We're waiting in line to go on the Tower of Terror, and it is just raining so hard. People are leaving the park, just a mass exodus, because it's like torrential
rookie mistake.
And so then we check on the app, and there are now open requests to go back into Fantasy Springs, which was previously completely booked up. You couldn't go back in. So we got to request access to go on the Frozen ride as well.
Yay.
Like around
That's so cool.
The park closes, I think, at 10, or it's either 9 or 10, but we got it there at the last hour, got on the ride, and it just closed out our whole trip there to go on the Frozen ride. And that ride blew my mind how good the animatronics are.
Yeah, I've seen some video from that ride. The animatronics in there are absolutely incredible. I have no idea how they pulled off what they did.
So you got to close out the land. Was it like completely emptied when you like got off the ride and you could like take like the best photos ever?
Yeah, so I also took a photo as we were going back to Fantasy Springs. We passed by King Triton's castle, and at nighttime they light it all up with, it looks beautiful. So I also have a picture of that, because The Little Mermaid's my favorite Disney movie. So as soon as, like, we were rushing over to get in line, and I told my friends, "Stop, I need a picture here." So they were super chill and let me get a photo shoot in front of King Triton's castle.
That's
awesome.
Cool. Oh my god. I love going to Disney World and closing down Oga's, to be able to close down Galaxy's Edge like that and take like those after dark empty photos and stuff.
Yeah.
It's good times. With my lightsaber. And like they're yelling at you, like security's like behind you, just yelling at you the whole time. I'm like, go ahead and yell. I'm gonna take this
Walk
photo
me out
real
of the park.
I'll be on my way, I swear.
That's
like
so
5
cool.
seconds.
Did you get to see, I can't remember which of the lines it's in, but in one of the queues for a ride, there's like a bunch of different hidden characters in the rocks, like Snow White's silhouette is hidden in a pool. And did you guys see any of that?
We did not. We were actually on the lookout for hidden Mickeys, like at the park. We actually spent a lot of time, like, to the point where there was a point we were spending so much time looking for hidden Mickeys that I was like, guys, we got to make sure that we get on all these rides. We were just like going and like exploring like areas where there's no rides at all. Like it's just like, a dock, and there's like a ship and like, some decorations there, but there's nothing there except, you go and explore, maybe take a photo. And we were just going through all the nooks and crannies trying to find a hidden Mickey, and we did not find any hidden Mickeys.
Oh no.
Did you find any S.E.A. references when you were looking for hidden Mickeys? Do you know what S.E.A. is?
I do not know.
Wow, what a missed
Oh
opportunity for
no.
you.
But what a great learning opportunity right
So,
now.
yes, and what a great time for me to info dump my very special interest, which is the S.E.A. I am a member. Here's
Look at
my
you.
coin. Yes, Gungaloosh. It's our
That's
greeting.
cool.
But the S.E.A. is the Society of Adventurers and Explorers. You'll know them from such hits as the Tower of Terror, the Jungle Cruise, and all of these things are hidden, like little parts of their lore. It's basically, there's Hightower, he's from Tower of Terror. He's a member of the society based off of Imagineer. Joe Rody was like his actual. There is a whole depth and breadth of Disney lore that you're missing out on. Okay. So like there's a restaurant like all dedicated to that at Tokyo DisneySea. In Disney Springs, there's references like the Jack Lundy. What is it? Help me out, Caroline. What's in Disney Springs? Jack Lindy Bar?
Jock Lindsay.
There you go.
Yeah, Jock Lindsay's Hangar Bar. Been there.
That's an S.E.A. place. Okay.
Technically it's an Indiana Jones place, but it does have
But
some
it is,
S.E.A. references.
yes,
Yeah.
they are there. Especially
And also
the
at
Jungle
Trader
Cruise.
Sam's, they
Yes,
have some S.E.A.
yes.
references too.
And the Skipper Canteen in Disney World. So anyway,
I'll have to look into that more.
it's so good.
Is it only like unique, like, because we went on the ride, the Hightower ride, where Hightower, can I spoil the story of the ride?
Sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Spoiler alert, there you go.
Hightower gets murdered brutally. I forget his first name. And there's like Harrison Hightower. Yes, I knew it was alliteration. And I don't know the full story because it was I viewed it in Japanese, but there was some like cursed doll or something that basically explained to us why he's pissed at Hightower. I don't know why. Kills him and then probably says, "You're next." But is that part of this S.E.A. lore? That is part of it.
So like Mystic Manor, that's also part of it. Yeah.
The Big Thunder at Walt Disney World, when it got revamped, is actually a part of it. Barnabas
cool.
T. Bullion. They hide him in places in the queue and in a silhouette in the ride. He's inside one of the buildings in the little town, and there's actually a picture of all of the S.E.A. members at the time, like the main 6 or whatever, hanging in the back of the building. And he is based on Tony Baxter, who is the main Imagineer who designed Big Thunder.
That's
and things like that.
super interesting.
His photo is on Big Thunder in Disneyland. You know, when you go through Rainbow Bridge, there you go.
Yeah.
You go through there and you see all like the little buildings. His photo is on there. Or is like hanging up. So yeah, the Fortress Explorations is the nexus of the S.E.A. story is from there. And so yeah, dig deep. It's a lot of fun.
I definitely will explore that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I do have the photos here. If
yes.
And video. Let me share my screen. This is what I was talking about for
Triton's Castle. Yeah.
Oh wow, nice.
That's incredible.
It's just lit up so nicely, and it was
doesn't
really
look
beautiful.
real.
Yeah, it looks like CGI.
Yeah,
it looks really like a magic shot.
Yeah.
And it was so awesome. And there's just like a pool of water in front of us, so it was just like very beautiful. That just at the end of the night, this magical gift was bestowed upon us to go on the Frozen ride, and right before it to just get this shot. It was really awesome.
Feels like Disney magic, right?
Truly.
Yes. Here's my friend Adrian we'll get into the videos here. I just get so excited. So we were on the Jolly Roger for these photos.
Oh, shut up. On the Jolly Roger.
Incredible.
Yeah, so this is Captain Hook. My friend Adrian just pretending to be Captain Hook. And there was Skull Rock, So it was very cool to be there.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I can't wait to go one day. But Sarah, you mentioned the S.E.A. and Tokyo is really like where that started, but it's kind of spread to all the parks now and also the Disney Cruise Line. And I'm really excited because we recently got some updates about some of the new Disney ships that are going to include some nods to the S.E.A. And I know this is your jam, so you should talk about it.
I got all dressed up for the occasion.
In your Haunted Mansion shirt.
Yeah, my Haunted Mansion shirt. I don't know if you noticed before, but yeah, it's Haunted Mansion. And so I got my Leota here. But yeah, the Treasure, I don't know if you've heard, Aaron, the Disney Treasure is it hasn't launched yet. It's still being built. They're almost ready with it. It's gonna come out, I believe, in 2025 to sail. And it has on the, you know how the back has different characters? Well, this one has Hook and Peter Pan. Like Hook is coming out from one side and Peter Pan is like, okay, because the whole vibe is adventure and, you know, treasure, like treasure hunting and all of this. So it has heavy S.E.A. theme. They have a Pirates of the Caribbean bar situation. But I'm very excited because they have the Haunted Mansion parlor, which is this really cool backstory of an S.E.A. character who is the old captain of the ship. This was his quarters, and he has since he fell off the ship, and that's how he passed away. He's like, it says he's toddled off the ship, which is wild. And so, kind of like all a Haunted Mansion, how he's like a ghost host. He's kind of like your ghost host there in the parlor, and so it's his favorite part of the ship. So now that he can't enjoy it anymore, he's gonna enjoy it. He let the rest of us enjoy it. It's like a really Disney captain move would be. So they built in S.E.A. now is a part of Haunted Mansion, therefore in canon, and I am like never happier. Like, because there was hints of like, well, it should be, you know, and things like that, and talks of like, is Haunted Mansion S.E.A.? Nobody. Well, now it's official. It is, because if the sea captain's on the Haunted Mansion parlors, I love it. The new part of S.E.A., new part of the lore, kind of folding that in. But this ship looks amazing with all of its like adventure themes. I'm excited for that. Have you ever been on a Disney cruise, Aaron?
I have not.
I know which one you're going on then.
I mean, I'm looking at the pictures here, and it is pretty awesome. It looks like the rooms have different themes. So
it's gonna have a Moana stage show.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm hoping we get some more fun pictures and announcements at D23 this coming weekend. Yeah.
They're due to have their own new private island, so it's all just good news.
Well,
all good stuff.
Joe Rohde helped design that one too, so it makes sense that it would be
the adventure thing. Yeah. Love me. Yeah, S.E.A. There you go. News you can use, Aaron. Who knew you were going to learn about Disney today? I bet you didn't know you were going to learn about Disney or even Disneyland. There's a big hole of Disneyland you're missing out because S.E.A. is deeply like the Jungle Cruise is like yep, all of it. Well, we have stuff to talk about.
I always wondered, you know, why they had those rides that, you know, there was no the movies that inspired the rides. There was the Pirates of the Caribbean, the Jungle Cruise, and then, you know, they subsequently made a Pirates of the Caribbean movie, but initially it was just a ride.
Yes.
So
I will say the S.E.A. was like, it's a relatively new addition in terms of the history of Disney. So like 2000s, even 90s-ish.
90s, yeah.
Yeah. So it's not like that was the original intent with those rides.
They infused it in there.
Especially
with like the remodel of Jungle Cruise that happened a couple of years ago. That's when they like really went hard, and like this is because a lot of it was just like we adopted it in the group, you know, and whatnot. And so it was like, yeah, Jungle Cruise, obviously. But there are ones that are obviously, I mean, because Tokyo Sea was the official inception of the lore per Disney. So that's something that started being infused in everything else at that point where it made thematic sense.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, even the California Adventure Tower of Terror ride before it was repurposed to
Guardians,
thank you. Yeah. Before it was repurposed, it still wasn't the story of Hightower.
Right. No, it's different.
It was just a drop ride.
Just all the Tower of Terrors across all the Disney parks are actually different. Yep. I want to ride them all sometime in my life. I actually haven't been on the Guardians version yet, though. I went on the original Disneyland version, but not the reskin, the retheme.
I spent a day only doing it so I could get all 6 songs, because there's 6 different
Incredible.
songs.
Yes.
7 if you count Halloween has like a metal Monsters After Dark that they do for the
fun.
second half of it, which I will be doing.
Amazing.
Yes. Going to Disney. I'm going to Oogie Boogie Bash in Disneyland right after the Vegas challenge. So if you need a Disneyland trip, you're totally invited, everyone. Everybody's invited. Head on down. Oogie Boogie Bash.
That
See
sounds
you there.
like fun. But no, speaking of Guardians, there's actually some Marvel stuff on the Disney cruise line that I'm really excited about. Me being a giant Marvel fan, I'm literally wearing my Captain America leggings right now. The Disney Destiny, which is the most recently announced ship, will be the ship after the Treasure, has 5 Marvel spaces on it that have never been used before on a ship. So there'll be a statue of Black Panther in the Grand Hall, which is like where everybody gets welcomed onto the ship.
Kind of like the atrium area kind of thing.
He's beautiful.
It's giving off Beauty and the Beast vibes, that Grand Hall. It's awesome.
Yeah, the Grand Hall is an incredible space. And so to give T'Challa that place of honor just warms my heart to no end. And then there's also going to be a Sanctum space. It's the first lounge that Disney has had inspired by Marvel, and it's going to have like all the Doctor Strange artifacts. There's a mirror that looks like his window. It got like cocktail spirits and coffees, and it's going to be like a little bit of a New York theme too, because his Sanctum's in New York.
Very excited for this one.
Yeah, and there will also be entertainment. Don't know what entertainment that's going to be, but sounds like fun.
I'm guessing it's the show from DCA. That's what I'm guessing.
It could be.
The old
it
show
could be.
that just recently got shut down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Could be.
And then you were saying Captain Hook and Peter Pan are on the stern of the Treasure. Spider-Man is on the stern of the Destiny.
Are there little spider bots, or am I misremembering?
Yeah, they're little spider bots, and he's like webbing them away, like trying to make sure they don't run away from him. One of them has like little scuba gear on. It's so cute.
In the sea. Oh,
it looks like one of them is actually painting the rest of the art on top of it, which is cool.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I love it so much. And then the Destiny Tower suite is going to be the penthouse suite honoring Iron Man's legacy in the Marvel Universe.
It
gives off big vibes of Tony's California beach house. Just everything very modern and sleek, and lots of shiny circle things, which of course are always Tony's favorites. It's going to be 2,000 square feet too, and 2 stories. If I could ever win a trip into that would be incredible, but I will never be able to afford that. And then they're also going to have Saga, which is a central hub for daytime family activities during the day, and then at night it'll be adult exclusive evening entertainment. And it is also going to take cues from Wakanda. So I love that they're taking so many different characters and bringing them to the ship. It's really going to be like an immersive Marvel experience. And as a huge fan of Marvel and the MCU, I'm very, very excited.
So I know on the Wish they have like the Marvel dining. They have that on that's going to be on Destiny as well. Sweet.
Yes, they're gonna have that on the Destiny as well.
I love it.
Which is a must for sure.
That's the only reason why I want to go. It's not the only reason I want to go on the Wish, but it is huge. The look of having like an adult Marvel space is kind of very exciting for me. So I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Well, I was going to say, Aaron, you talked a little bit about being a Steel Song enthusiast, and at the last 2 challenges, both at Fort Worth and in Bologna, we've seen Steel Song take the runner-up, I believe. What are your thoughts? Because a lot of people at the beginning of Ursula's Return were like, Steel Song is dead.
Yeah, I was one of those people who was like, I basically, Steel Song is always the first deck I try to brew up when the new set drops. And just from my testing, I just found like it wasn't really working for me. It wasn't feeling as powerful as some of the other options in the set. mostly because of the rise of Ruby Sapphire. But I think that there's a couple of shifts in the meta. There was the rise of Ruby Amethyst, right, which is a rise that I still don't really fully understand how it could be so popular when the Emerald Steel Bucky, from my perspective, had a very favorable matchup into it. So you for me, I expect, if that's the number one deck, that kind of pushes a deck like Ruby Amethyst down. But that didn't really seem to happen. Ruby Amethyst players are very loyal to their color combination. So that kind of, in return, Ruby Sapphire had to adjust. It came in lower representations, which kind of opened a door, I think, for Steel Song to really come through, because Steel Song has favorable Emerald Steel Bucky matchups and favorable Ruby Amethyst matchups. So if those are the two, between
dominant
those
decks.
two decks, that's like 50% of the metagame right there, or 45% maybe. So if that's what you're going to see in half of your matches, and if you can basically, so if you're playing 18 match games in a challenge, if 9, or I guess it won't be, if 8 to 10 of them are against those two color combinations, and you can win those, with a very high efficiency, that's 8 to 10 out of your 8 to 10 of your matches for the day that you've secured as a win. So that's huge. That's really huge.
That's close to bubble already.
Right. So, I think that's kind of what happened, is just that there were some movements in the meta that created a window for Steel Song to kind of shine through. And also there were people who came up with some really awesome innovations for that deck with the Harpist, which is a card that, when I initially read that card, I was just like, I'm not so sure about this one.
Same, yeah.
It really demonstrating her power in that deck. So
yeah, 100%. It's interesting too, because I think in Chicago, Zach Bivens making top 32 again with Steel Song, gave people hope almost. It's not dead. How do we figure this out? And people kept innovating on it. And then as the meta shifted, I feel like the more innovations happened and the more favorable matchups opened up, it regained so much of its momentum and its meta share that we saw so much more of it in Fort Worth.
Yeah, I still think that, personally, I would have a hard time still sleeving up the Steel Song, just because of its matchup against Ruby Sapphire. In my opinion, is just so tough. It's very tough. That and for me personally, I don't like. I like playing more well-rounded decks. Meaning, I don't have a matchup that I'm hoping to just avoid for the entire event. It's just that, I might not have a bunch of really good matchups, but I also don't have a bunch of really bad matchups. Everything is very close, and I can leverage my skill as a player to bridge the gap rather than the matchup spread to bridge the gap. That's so just for me,
hoping for good luck.
Exactly. So that for me was probably the major reason why I never brought Steel Song to an event during, set 4. But a lot of people had some really awesome success with it, and I'm always playing with it and tuning it and trying to find a way to make it work. So yeah, hopefully I'll be playing it again next set.
Yeah, it's definitely really getting some good tools.
Yeah, Shivering Skies looks like, Steel Song's gonna be singing. So
it's looking nice.
Well, and especially with the demise of Bucky,
he's not demise. He's just heavily stunted.
The injury of Bucky.
Yeah, he's gone through some, rehab training. What is that when you mess up at HR and they have to send you to get, get it together, not be so mean anymore. Like that's what he's had, and now he's good to go. He's learned his manners, and he's like, okay, I understand when to
He's been
discard now.
defanged.
Yeah. It's like before, you're like, you're discarding too much, man. Calm down. Now he's like, okay, I get it. So intervention for him. It's fine. We're fine. It's fine. If you look at the cart, like it's Kronk's shoulder, right? He's sitting there right on Kronk's shoulder. And like, I need to see the rest of the cart. I need to see the Kronk that goes with it. And I need Bucky to be able to be on the same board at the same time. And I want that to happen. So I'm glad that that's still a possibility for me. And I'm sorry that he's still around for the people who hate it so much. But hey, I am here for it. So keep all the cards for as long as I'm concerned. You're all adorable. Beautiful little characters.
Aaron, it was lovely to have you, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It was a ton of fun.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed that interview with Aaron, LorcanaBro, getting some Disney Lorcana Challenge deck advice, and maybe help you to dial in your choice for the next challenge, whether it be Las Vegas or Seattle that you get to be a part of. Very exciting to share my information about Disney S.E.A, the Society of Adventurers and Explorers, which we're going to be diving deep into this season on the Lore Library. So please come back to future episodes. Excited to have Caroline back in future episodes to maybe talk about some competitive players. She's coming out with some really good roster lists and things like that. So keep an eye out on the Lorcana Bells social medias, and definitely Team Labber, the team to watch. Very excited to have been able to interview them for this 3-part series. So thank you for following along. And next week we have a great interview with Judge Chris, a traveling judge that you probably may have seen in some of the challenges and whatnot that you've been a part of. So very excited to see him, and I hope to see you real soon.